Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Here is Benedicta. Today I want to talk about what we guys are always afraid of, including me. So I used to be very afraid of going to interview until I start learning it the correct way. Today I'm talking about interview, Vorstellungsgespräch. Since you've submitted your application for ausbildung, no matter what kind of ausbildung you submit your application for, the next thing you are expecting is for them to invite you for your Vorstellungsgespräch, for your interview, for you to tell them about yourself. So first of all, first impression matters, which is how you look. Don't go to your interview looking anyhow to your interview, or don't go to your interview looking too much dressed, too overdressed to your interview, but be modest and be decent. For instance, since it's cold time, you can wear a leggings and maybe a short gown, not maybe across your knee, then a boot. It will still look modern. Or you wear a trouser, nice pullover, nice shoe, so you look decent and neat, because your first impression matters. So on your interview, you don't go there telling them story about your family, because that is the mistake so many of us used to do, because that was how we learned in language school. So in language school, they were just using that to teach us how to speak, but not that that was the correct form of interview. At least they just wanted us to try and be saying something, but we all just put that into our head, and when we go to interview, that is what we say. I'm making this video because of an example somebody gave to me, that I went to Vorstellungsgespräch. Before I went, I took my Dutch course book and I crammed everything that they taught us in Dutch course. No, that is wrong. That was wrong, because they taught us, what they taught us was your name, how many children do you have, your husband, are you married, where is your husband, is your husband doing, when did you come to Germany. That is all the one they taught us in language school. But your Vorstellungsgespräch is for you to talk about your CV, your Lebenslauf. When you get to your Vorstellungsgespräch, when they welcome you, you sit down. The next thing you will see on their table, you will see your credentials that you sent. Your Lebenslauf will be there. Everything that you sent will be there. So now they say you should tell them about yourself. Telling about yourself is to speak about these papers that you sent to us. What you wrote on that paper, that is what you are going to tell them. So you are going to start maybe from your secondary school. We don't always talk about the primary school. You went to so secondary school. So 2009 or 2010, you finished your secondary school. You got admissions to this and this university. You study so thing. After 4 years, you graduated from your university and you did your youth service, or you don't have to say that if you don't want to. Then you graduated with your bachelor abschluss, or if you don't have bachelor abschluss, okay, after secondary school, you started working in so place. Always give them the name of the place you work and as what you worked, because that is all those things you put in your CV. Make sure you put the date, the year, and your position. Always put like this in your CV. So when you finish telling them that, then I came to Germany so here. That's before you start all this, you have already said your name, where you came from, that's the first thing you have to do. Then you start telling them your CV, how you put it. You started from secondary school to your university. After that, you worked for like 2 years. Then you got married and you came to Germany to be with your husband. Since you came to Germany, you've been studying Dutch course and you have B2. You have B2 from Nivio from your Dutch course. But before you apply for this hospital, you've worked in so place where you've got experience of so thing. So you decide to do hospital, since maybe because of what you study, you couldn't work here. If they want to ask you how many children you have, they are the one that will ask you. they will hold on for them to ask you. Don't introduce yourself and telling them, I have 3 kids, my husband will work at so place, my kid's name is this and this and their age is this and this. No, that is what they taught us in language school, I know. But they will ask you all that because all that is already in your credential. If they are interested, they want to know that, they are going to ask you. So you don't have to quickly just rush and tell them. No, some interview, after you now say all these things and you now tell them why you apply for the Vorstellungsgespräch, after you've told them your name, what you study, how you've done your Dutch course, you've worked here, you want to study nursing, for instance, nursing because you like helping people, because you have empathy, because it's you feel this is what your heart say you should do, because anytime you see anybody in need, in care, that's sick, your heart tells you immediately to go help this person. So you want to put that into practice and be doing it as a career, because this is what your heart is always telling you to do, so you beg them for them to give you the chance for you to study this ausbildung, because this is your desire course. Or you can still tell them that since when you were a child, you've been wanting to do nursing, but your family said you should study maybe banking and finance, and now that you have grown enough, you can make decision on your own. You want to study what you like. You would have loved to study this nursing since, but because of the language, you couldn't study, so you have to learn the language more. And now that you feel that you have learned the language to a certain level that you could understand very well, you decided to apply for this nursing course. So once you finish, you stop there. The next thing, they will start asking you questions. They can ask you questions like, what year did you come to Germany? Then you tell them. Who do you live with? You tell them, maybe I'm married, I have 3 kids. Okay, your kids, are they grown or they are still young? They are grown. Also, because they ask you this because time, you might have somebody to look after your kids, or then they can now come and ask, okay, what does your husband do? Maybe in case of you are not your kids are in school and you are on your hospital, in case anything happen, who will be there to help? Then you can tell them, okay, I have an auntie, I have a cousin, I have brother, I have friends, my husband is working part-time, or my husband is not working, so we'll be looking after the kids, or I have somebody that I know I can drop my kids for, all those times. Then you start to interact with them. Make sure you talk, make sure you speak out, make sure you are communicating with them very well. Don't always like you don't have answer to say, you are not composed. So like for me, before I go to interview, I practice in the mirror. I practice what I want to say, because I watch on YouTube, I listen to some possible question I'm expecting that they are going to ask. Then I start practicing it, practice the words, how I will say it. I try to be confident of myself. I try to give them that smile, because if you want to work in nurse, the requirement is you have to be somebody that can work in team. You have to always have lesion on your face. You have to always smile, so when you are talking with them, try to just communicate with them. Don't go there like you're on interview and just sit so straight and nervous. Yeah, you'll be nervous, but try and compose yourself. Just be relaxed and talk. Like for instance, they asked me, then why didn't you work in the bank since you study banking and finance? I told them it's not me that don't want to work in the bank. They don't want to employ me because they feel that I'm not good enough to work. He now asked me again, why would they feel that you're not good enough to work? I say it's not really that I'm not good enough to work here in the bank, but bank mostly, yet nowadays bank are always online, and automatic auto display money is doing almost everything, so they don't even need much people to work in the bank. Then she said yes, and she now gave me example here that the sister to study banking and finance here abroad in Germany, and it's difficult for her to get a job because they don't need much people. So that is true. And I said, yeah, so people that are born here that are Germans don't have the chance, so who am I to have the chance? And secondly, nursing has been something I really, really wanted to do. But in Nigeria, we don't take nursing as a serious career. But when I came here, I saw how it is. When I take my kids to the hospital, I see how people take care of my kids. I see how the environment is, everything, and this is what I have been always wanting to do. So because of the language, I couldn't start when I wanted to start. So I had to go back to school, learn the language, did my practical, then that's why I applied for the ausbildung, and that's why I'm here with you, speaking with you now on my interview. That was how I just did something like this. It might not be exactly what I'm saying now, but something like this, and they all smile, you know. That is what we should try to do. So I hope these little tips can help you during your interview. So learn how to jot everything that you're about to say down. Be confident, be bold, put a smile on your face, look good, and yeah, you might have your ausbildung position. Thank you very much for listening. Please subscribe and like my channel. Share my video for others to learn. Thank you.